Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast for June 27, 2024, episode 211 of my daily podcast. Stand-up comedian, actor, and improviser Paul Green coming to you technically on my birthday. Happy birthday to me. That's right, I'm releasing this episode on June 28th, which was the day I was born. 43 years ago, stuck to this planet by the forces of gravity. And I tell you, I had one of the most incredible days yesterday. So, although my birthday is today, June 28th, last night at my hometown comedy club, JP's Comedy Club in Gilbert, Arizona, I had the opportunity to do a combined birthday show with my good friend Josh Novi, who also shares a birthday with me. And we decided to do a mashup type birthday comedy show. Now, the original intention was, hey, this is going to be like a birthday party. It's going to be a celebration of me and Josh, and we're going to have all of our friends and family come out to the show. Turns out, Josh and I do not have that many friends and family willing to come out to a show. Now, we did have some, don't get me wrong, but definitely not nearly enough to fill a comedy club. So about a week ago, we changed out the branding of the comedy show. So instead of saying, hey, this is the birthday comedy show for Paul and Josh, which the owner made it feel like it was sounding like it was like a private party. And that definitely seemed to be the case, because as soon as we changed the show and we just called it like two headliners, one show or something like that is what I think we changed it to. So it didn't sound like a private birthday party. We ended up having an incredible turnout, and I had probably about 12 or 14 friends and family. So I had my mom and dad, my brother Peter, my brother Dan, my sister-in-law, Corinne, and I think that's all in terms of family. So I had 5 family members there. And then I had a good amount of friends come out. And also a couple of my, agent, my acting agent out here in Arizona came to the show, which was so great. My friend Lily, and technically also my boss, because she hires me for kids' parties. She's the one who hired me to play Blippi and Batman in recent weeks. So her name's Christy. So her and Lily came out. My friend Casey, my old roommate, and his wife, Chris and Meg, came out. My friend Jenny came out. My friend Joseph Anderson came out. Oh my gosh. Now I'm afraid I am going to forget somebody. Oh, my friend Amber. Amber came out. Anyway, Casey Christensen. So I had a good like 10 or 12 friends come out, which was so great, and I appreciated it so much. And it was kind of an interesting show because it was technically, again, intended to be a birthday show, but probably 80% of the audience had no idea who me and Josh are and didn't really care that it was our birthdays. They just came for a comedy show. And, oh, did we give them a comedy show. I still can't get over how incredible the show was. Just top to bottom, every stand-up comedian, including myself, just absolutely slayed the room. The audience were so incredible. I mean, it was, gosh, probably one of the, I can't even think of the last time I had an audience who were just so willing to go along with whatever we were feeding them, and they were laughing so hard and so loud. So both me and Josh came out. We did 20-minute sets. Josh had a friend come out named Aaron. He actually opened the show and did 5 minutes up front. He did a great job. You can tell he's definitely a newer comic, but he was so likable, so charming. He had some good jokes. He had a Trump impersonation, which, can always, anytime you go politics, it can go off the rails, but he did a fantastic job. And then Jim, who owns the club, came out and just freaking slayed so hard. It was like, I've never heard so many consistent, like absolutely blowing the roof off the place laughs. It was just so incredible. What was so cool for me is I did a 20-minute set. I haven't done 20 minutes in a while, and definitely I haven't done 20 minutes where I didn't supplement it with some crowd work and improvising songs. And although I did have my keyboard, I brought it with me, I did not improvise any songs or do any crowd work during my portion because Josh and I had already determined that we were going to do a combined set to close out the show. So I'll get to that in a little bit, but more about me. So I had this 20-minute set, and I just decided that I only wanted to do all of the new material that I've been writing over the last 3 or 4 months. And it was the first time I tried to put together a lot of that material into one set. And again, the crowd was so incredible that it was like I would just say one thing and then they would just laugh. It just felt like 10, 15, 20 seconds of just me standing there. They were just so incredible. And I'll tell you, when a crowd laughs that hard and is that giving, it just makes you feel like you can soar. It just makes it so much more fun and easy to be present and to deliver your material. It's easier to try little tags here. Like little tags, little nuances were popping in my mind in terms of how to deliver some of this material that I had never really tried before. I actually extended a couple of bits to include a few more tags, which I had maybe previously been a little bit afraid to do because I was maybe worried that, I'm dragging this bit out too long. I just need to move on to the next thing. But with this crowd, I was like, oh man, let me see if I can get a few more tags on some of these bits. And it was so fun to do that. And so fun to do 20 minutes. And so anyways, it went so well. And that even though I did 20 minutes, there were still about 3, I think, newer bits that I wanted to try that I just didn't have time to do. I ran out of time, hit my 20-minute mark, and I have this brand new bit that's been doing very well that is big and big energy and gets a lot of laughs, and I decided to end on that. And it was just so great. It was just so great. I cannot remember the last time I have felt so great on stage as a stand-up comedian. It has been a long time coming. Feel like I've just been just slogging through for a long time now, trying to really find where my next voice comedically, what my next voice comedically is going to be, really what sort of material I'm going to focus on. And those of you who follow my podcast know that I made a decision about 3 or 4 months ago to start over, writing a brand new set from scratch. And I stopped doing all of my old material, even the newer old material that I even wrote last year. I've stopped doing. And I just started from scratch, and I just started writing every single day and started putting together a new set and new bits and new jokes. And I have been refining and cutting here and changing here and adding in new bits here. And it's just been a ton of work. And last night was just this moment of seeing some of the fruits of all that labor and just being able to stand on stage for 20 minutes straight and not have one joke swing and miss. I didn't have to do one save. I didn't have to do one apology of, oh, well, that's a newer one, or all that stuff. And it was just absolute bliss. And then I got to sit down and then hear my buddy Josh Novy go up next, absolutely kill it, and then hear Jim go on after me for Josh, just absolutely kill it. It was like, I can't even describe it. Like, I've heard both Josh and Jim do those routines before, but it was like both of them, it just like hit another gear. I mean, they always kill it, but it was just, I don't know. There was just something about last night, something in the water, something with that crowd, something just happened to where it was just one of the most electric, unbelievably funny experiences of stand-up comedy that I have seen in a long time, and definitely since a long, long time since I've ever participated in a stand-up show. I'm trying to think if I've ever felt that strong as a stand-up comedic performer. I may have never felt that strong about anything I've done stand-up wise before. That was just a really incredible experience. So anyway, so we had our opener. I did 20, Josh did 20, Jim did 15. And then Josh and I both came back on the stage, and we did sort of a derivative of what we have been doing on our midlife crisis comedy show, where we interview audience members about their life and then we improvise songs about their life. So this time, since it was our birthday show, we actually had the members of the audience who were there to see us. We allowed them to volunteer, like an anecdote or a story or whatever about Josh and then about me. And then we improvised a song based off of ultimately what our friends and family said about us. So it was just kind of a really fun way to like talk about our birthdays in a funny way and then get to sing a song about it. And it was unbelievable. It was so much fun. We just had an absolute blast on stage doing that and hearing people talk about Josh. So he had some friends there from church, and one of them mentioned that he would play a singing and dancing Santa Claus for church. And then another one mentioned that he really likes Louisiana chicken. And so a bunch of, so he was just making a bunch of jokes about that. And then we sang this song. I started off and just started singing about how he was Santa Claus and all just kind of fun stuff. It was a lot funnier than that. And then it was my turn. And so then we got some anecdotes. So the people in the audience who spoke up, so my acting agent was there, and she had mentioned something about how I got booked as as the ghost hunter on a YouTube show, which was released recently. And then my friend Lily talked about how she got me booked as Blippi and Batman. And then my brother Peter talked about how I was booked as a gigantic cockroach. So it was kind of funny that everybody who chimed in about characters, like acting roles that I keep getting. And then somebody else mentioned, so my buddies, Coy Johnston and his wife Tanya and Mark Smith, I totally excluded them from my list of friends, even though I actually went out and had dinner with them afterwards, which is funny that I didn't think about them when I was rattling off all the friends who came. So I used to play in a jazz band with them, but when I went on my Mormon mission, they had to kick me out of the band. And so that's what he was talking about, how so one of them piped up and said that I had gotten kicked out of their band. And that ended up coming up in the song. I mean, it was just so much fun. So much fun. I am just through the roof elated. So I am so grateful for all of my friends and family for coming out and just to have such a great experience and to just finally start to feel like my stand-up comedy set is getting some legs and getting some traction, and that it's hitting hard, and feels really, really great. So that was last night, and today I have a friend of mine coming in from Vegas. She's got a show tonight, and we had talked about hanging out today. I actually tried to get her in town last night so that she could be the host, but she wasn't able to do that. So she and I are going to hang out a little bit. She talked about maybe filming some content, so we'll see if we end up doing something comedically or if we end up just hanging out for my birthday. So, by gosh, everybody, I'll tell you. I cannot begin to emphasize how many nights of discouragement I've had over not only just the last 3 or 4 months, but over the last couple of years and just over my comedy career in general. I mean, especially as a stand-up has always been such a struggle for me to ever feel funny, to ever feel love. I mean, I don't know. It just, the reason I guess I say this is because the complete opposite was the truth for me when it came to improv. I just gravitated towards improv comedy. I got it. It just seemed to make sense to me. And it just came to me. And as soon as I started performing improv, I instantly became very good at it and just loved it, and then became an improv performer. Within a couple of months, I was performing on the main stage at a local improv club, and ended up performing with them for years, and it was just bada boom, bada bing. Stand-up, on the other hand, just has been a struggle over the years. And although I've had some good experiences, I've had some good sets, I've been able to write some decently funny stuff, it just never really clicked for me until last night. It just seemed like something just clicked in to where it was like, yes, I'm on the right path. I'm finding my voice. My material is coming along. And I hope it's that way more often now moving forward, and that this wasn't just an anomaly because we just happen to have just one of the best crowds ever. So it's so easy to be like, what's the saying? They always say, like, your bad shows are never as bad as you think, and your good shows are never as good as you think. So now can you hear the voice in my head going like, well, maybe it wasn't that great. And, maybe the crowd was just super friendly, and Other crowds, maybe they aren't going to get it and aren't going to think you're that funny and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, geez, Paul, can you be happy for like 12 hours before the negative voice kicks in? So anyway, some really cool things coming up. Next weekend, I will be filming 2 comedy specials for the Clean Comedy USA comedy show. Very much looking forward to that. And, yeah, that'll be good. I felt so good tonight because I'm going to be doing 25 minutes next weekend. And again, I haven't really done 20 minutes of pure material. And so this was just such a great test drive just to see how my material's coming along if I just actually do jokes back to back. And so it has me feeling like I'm in a much better position for the show next weekend. And I don't know, I think I will be looking to start submitting to festivals again with this new batch of material. I actually did film last night. I didn't put a lot into the recording, though. I didn't set up audio equipment, which I don't like not having audio equipment. But, we'll see. We'll see how that video turned out. Maybe I can submit that because it's all material. There's no crowd work in it. So anyway, such an incredible night. So grateful, so full of just joy and gratitude and happiness, and very excited for this next chapter and continuing to expand on this set. I didn't even get to all the material. So I did about 20 minutes. I probably have another 3 or 4 minutes of material that I'm working on. I'm not quite sure if it's all there yet, but I am, it's sort of in the, it's in the queue. It's in the batter's box. So we'll see how that goes. All right, everybody. Keep following your dreams, everybody. Keep going for it. I'll tell you, there are some dark nights. There are some frustrating times, but if you can just push through, I can tell you there may be some incredible experiences on the other end of that. So, love you all so much. Oh, Rachel D. My friend Rachel D came. I keep thinking of all these people that came when I was just trying to rattle them off at the top of the list, I forgot. So, all right, everybody. I love you all so much. This is the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast for June 27th, 2024, episode 211. I love you all so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow.